Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the University Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. I'm your service leader, Jake Russo, and I'm honored to be with you this morning. We have a few housekeeping items before we get started. One is please silence your cell phones. And the other is that the service is broadcasted on both YouTube and Zoom, so that means a few things. One, we ask that you wait for a microphone if you get the opportunity to speak, just so that everyone can hear you online. And two, be mindful of your words because we do archive the services. They're available after the fact in perpetuity on YouTube. Thank you for being with us this morning, whether in person or online. We're a warm, welcoming congregation of diverse beliefs and shared values, and we look forward to getting to know you. Please join us after the service for refreshments and coffee, and attend a handful of times to get a sense of the breadth of our offerings. At this time, I'm going to ask you, everyone here, to take a moment to say hello to someone nearby, and also to wave the cameras in the back there to our longtime members and friends online. Thank you. We're glad you're here with us this morning. Each week we set aside time for our committee chairs to remind us briefly what's happening here at our congregation. The information you'll see in a second on the slide is also available in our newsletter, the Notable News, and we have sign-up forms in the lobby for you if you want to receive that in your inbox.
Hi, Lori Hospitality, and Jill and I would like to give you the opportunity to serve coffee to your friends and neighbors in the congregation. We have absolutely nobody volunteer for the next 2 weeks. So the sign-up sheet will be there, and we would really appreciate it if you would sign up. And if you could bring snacks, that's great. Molly and Alan brought the wonderful ones that we have today. Next thing is, next week we have a potluck. I forgot to put the sign out this morning. It's Side with Love. So we're asking everybody who has one of the, they call them yellow or orange? Yellow. T-shirts to wear it. And then bring whatever your favorite comfort food is. And we would appreciate that. Remember, bring about for 6 to 8 people, fully prepared.
Hi everyone, Tay with RE. A couple of announcements, one with potluck for anyone who has kids. We will have childcare available until, for sure, 12:30, potentially longer until about 1, but at least until 12:30, so if the kids are finished eating and they want to go play, they are more than welcome to join us in the back. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, it's not up there just yet, but I'll be getting out this information out on March 29th, the last Sunday in March. We're going to do a field day. It's open to everyone in the congregation, so if you want to participate in the events like hula hooping, jump rope, dodgeball, we'll also do more like accessible events as well, so everyone's included. If you want to be scorekeepers, MC, or just an audience to cheer people on who are doing the field day events, that will be happening on the 29th after service. And finally, the Renters Kind Kids made a post today about picking up some stuff that they have available. Apparently it's for a different area than here, but please be extra vigilant if we see people we don't know who are kind of looking aimless. They are not allowed in the back with us during the time, and the stuff's not here anyway. So just let me know if there is anyone kind of wandering around being like, oh, I saw a post on Facebook for Kind Kids to pick up some stuff. Because they are going to be back there right now. So just be vigilant, let me know. We have walkie-talkies, and you can just radio me on that. So thank you.
I'm Janet, and first, on Tuesday night, we're going to have a program planning meeting. And what we'll be doing is planning services in May and beyond. It's a virtual meeting. You can find the link in the notable news, or you can ask me and I can send you the link. And so if you have some ideas for services, or if you just want to come and hear everyone else's ideas and see what's going on, you're very welcome to come. So that's the first one. A second announcement is after the service on March 15th, we're having our next New Inquiring Minds meeting, and the subject will be hypercapitalism and the colonization of everyday life. It's going to be about how market logic has kind of moved beyond the marketplace and affected things that are very intimate: friendship, our attention, our desires, who we are, our identity. So that, again, is going to be after the service on March 15th.
Hi, my name is Brianna, and I'm selling Girl Scout cookies over there if anyone wants some.
Can you go back to the potluck screen? Yeah, thank you. Good morning, Kelly Buchanan with the Marketing Committee. Just have two announcements. One, yes, we are having a very special potluck. And again, Derek helped name the potluck. It's Side with Love with the food you love. And so if you have any questions about what the food you love, I guess Derek can be more explanatory, but it's more like your comfort food. What was that special food that might brought you comfort in the past, whether it was meatloaf, greens, cornbread, do what? Mac and cheese, those types of food. So Side with Love with the food you love. And what's so special in how marketing, I guess, intersects with this is that we are trying to get a congregational picture. So we're asking you that for those of you who bought a Side with Love t-shirt to please wear this. If you want one, we have some that we're actually selling. We've got about 10 left. And you know, we have other marketing shirts too that are branded. We have some blue ones from a couple of years ago. So please make sure you wear your your UFFF merch, please, this coming Sunday. We'd appreciate it. The second announcement is that the marketing committee will be having a meeting this Monday day at 2:30. So marketing meeting 2:30. If you'd like to join us, please feel free to do so. Thank you.
Hi, it's your weekly pledge reminder. Okay, today I just want to talk mainly about practical things. By the way, the first thing I want to say, there's a little tiny green plastic, just a minute. There's a tiny green plastic heart on top of the big heart. There will be green hearts every time somebody pledges. And we have quite a few to put up, but I didn't get them in the mail yet. So I'm waiting for the green hearts to come in so we can put them over all the things that we love to show that we are sustaining it. We are giving so that we can continue to have this wonderful congregation. Again, you can pledge with a paper pledge like this. There are some over there on the credenza. Please stop. Thank you. And you can also go online and you can use this QR code. And can we go to the next slide? Okay. Yeah. There's a pledge form, as you'll notice. And on the pledge form, I don't know what, I was hoping for the little piece, when it comes up online, there's a little sign that says you can click on it. Okay. All right. No, over here. And if you are wondering what you should give, and you want to look at a chart to see what the percentage of your income is, if you want to go that way, that's terrific. And we have a chart that you can get to online for that. But obviously, all of you, I'm trying to motivate you with all of what we love, but it's up to you. You know, you have to think in your heart what you can do to help support the community. We appreciate anything that you can do. We truly do. And the last thing is, since it is, yeah, I got the right one. This is the Women's History Month, I believe it's called. Okay, and so for that, I'm going to quote social philosopher and ethicist Reverend Anna Garland Spencer, 1851 to 1931. She was affiliated with both Universalism and Unitarianism, and she wrote, "A successful woman preacher once asked, 'What special obstacles have you met as a woman in the ministry?' 'Not one,' she answered, 'except the lack of a minister's wife.'"
Marilyn Furmanek. Just a reminder for Women's Support Group, March 9th, a week from tomorrow. Come and have a confidential check-in. We always say what is said in Triple U Vegas stays in Triple U Vegas. Absolutely, very confidential. We have a potluck first and then a check-in. And it's just a great way to get to know each other on a deeper level. So come and check us out. Thanks.
Hey everybody, April 19th is our auction. I'm starting to get some really nice gifts in. A few weeks ago when Reverend Kathy talked, she said America used to be called the melting pot, but she thought it was more like a salad because we each bring our own individual tastes. We don't mix them we don't stick them all in like glue. We have all these different tastes. Well, here's an auction idea. Have whatever your favorite flavor is, have a dinner at your home or take people out to your favorite restaurant. You can say, we're going to have Abendessen mit de Schillers or Casa Montalto, a Mexican evening or whatever. You could do it at your home. Or you could say, I'd like to go to this particular restaurant. I'll invite 2 people to go with me. It's an easy thing to have as an auction gift. Also, if anybody would like to donate dog sitting, I will tell you that I will be bidding on that because I have places to go that I can't take my dog with me. But think of what you can do. Also, if you can go to a business, I think there's forms over there, but they're also on this auction, on Notable News, there's a link to the business form, there's a link to an individual form. You can do it all online, or you can make copies of what I have. I've been going to businesses, and people are very generous. I've already gotten several $100s worth of gift certificates to restaurants in Oviedo, but unfortunately I had the flu, so I haven't been able to I get as many places that I like. I would love it if you would go to restaurants, theaters, places where they have live performances, parks, anything that you can get a gift certificate to. You can enter it right on the website. Go to Notable News, or put what you can give individually. We would love to make our goal of $5,000 for the auction, and it's all up to all of us, and I think we'll have a great time. And I think I mentioned that my daughter-in-law, the chef, my granddaughter-in-law, the chef, will again be donating her fabulous cake and cookies. Thank you.
Thank you. My opening words this morning are from Irvin Yalom, an existential psychotherapist and emeritus professor of psychiatry at Stanford University. The search for meaning, much like the search for pleasure, must be conducted obliquely. Meaning ensues from meaningful activity. The more we deliberately pursue it, the less likely we are to find it. The rational questions one can pose about meaning will always outlast the answers. In therapy, as in life, meaningfulness is a byproduct of engagement and commitment. Gary and Alicia will lead us in our opening music.
We'll have a short introduction, so you can please rise if you're willing and able. I think we're singing verses 1, 2, and 3. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Open your ears to the song. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Open your hearts to the song.
Now it's time for the lighting of the chalice. Our chalice lighter this morning is Margaret. She uses she, her pronouns. She's 6 years old, and her joy is that she went to play with her friends at the park. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. All right, and now for our affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another. Now it's time for joys and concerns. We like to say that when we share our joys, they're doubled, and our concerns, when we share them, are halved. I'm gonna move the microphone to the front, and everyone can line up and share with us.
My name is Margaret, and my joy is that me and my friend went to play at the park yesterday.
Hi, my joy is that I'm going to like a panda fest where you can like walk around and buy food and eat it. You get panda ears too. Hi, my name is Brianna, and my joy is that I sold 290 cookie boxes.
Hey there, we have a joy and concern. A joy I have is that I finally got my textbook in the mail that I'm featured in. So we have the Bloomsbury Handbook of Religion and Food. This has been something, I submitted this a while ago, a year and a half ago maybe. So to go from, it was really intense writing this to it being here, printed, all my citations, all my work into it's really cool. So we're really, really happy to finally have it. A concern I have is that for the last few months I've not been feeling super good. Been really tired, been feeling pretty nauseous, pretty sick. There's a reason for that. John, would you like to give
The reason is we are going to be parents this year.
So, due August of this year. So, yeah. But legitimately keep me in your thoughts because I am feeling very sick all the time. But we're really excited.
My joy is that my baby brother is now walking, but not with shoes yet.
Good morning, Kelly Buchanan. I have a joy. Miak had knee replacement surgery on Friday, and the joy is he's doing really well. His range of motion is better than the physical therapist thought that it would be compared to other folks. But just an interesting story. So he has to be up and walking every hour. And so he was walking down the hall, and I said, "How are you doing?" I said, "You're doing, He goes, "It's painful." He goes, "But I'm working through it." And he goes, "I'm working through it like Kathy Anderson." For all you folks may not know, but Kathy Anderson used to be a member here. She used to work in hospitality. And anyhow, and I said, "Well, Kathy Anderson didn't have a knee replacement." And he goes, "I know she didn't have a knee replacement," as he's walking, "but she had a car accident. And probably in her late 80s. He goes, and she had a car accident, and she was supposed to go to physical therapy 3 times. He goes, but I'm working through it like Kathy Anderson because she didn't go 3 times. She went 5 times because she was determined to get better." So anyhow, Kathy Anderson is still a mentor to a lot of us. So I just thought I'd share that. But thank you so much for your calls and texts and cards of concern. We appreciate it. Thank you.
And to follow up on that, the Pastoral Care Committee, if you would like to pass this around, but it's for, she already said his name online, so I guess it doesn't matter. And you could just sign this one, and I'll send it. It's already addressed, but if you'd rather do one on your own, please feel free to take a card from the box over there and just put his name on it and give it to me, and I will address it and stamp it, okay?
I have several joys. One, I'm not sure I thanked the people that were early pledgers. Thank you so much, those of you that have already pledged. There have been a few. I'm hopeful. My main joy, though, is that this lovely lady over here, Pat, you should stand up, really. This whole family has adopted me. And Pat is Eva's other grandma. I'm sort of an adopted grandma. Anyway, we had a lovely, lovely day. We went to the Morse Museum, saw the Tiffany exhibition. We had a good time in the shop, the museum shop. We had lunch. We went to a great bookstore. Everything was terrific, and it was just so nice to visit with her. And I'm going to hold her to her offer to let me stay with her when I go up to New Hampshire, maybe this summer.
My concern, or rather, not concern, but worry, is my friend M, at 18 years old, passed away from ovarian cancer this week. But my joy is that she's not in pain anymore. So, M, if you're anywhere, I love you and I hope you're okay.
My joy is that I got this new dress. I got a few other ones. And my grandma gave them to me.
Thank you. I have a joy, which is that I got to go birding yesterday. Janet and Gary was generous enough to take me and Ray and Jake birding, and it was amazing. I'm not a nature girl, so it was very cool to like be out in nature and actually observe it, like not go on a hike just for a hike's sake, just like, you know, going through it, but actually stopping and observing the birds and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I had to crap out after an hour and a half, which is also my concern, which is that I've talked about it a couple times before, but my lower back problems are still really, really bad. So just keep that in mind. I'm going back to a pain management doctor, but fortunately he doesn't like throw pills at me, but we are kind of at like the end of like some of the trials. So if anybody has any suggestions for lower back pain, I'd appreciate it. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Miguel Rodriguez. I have a concern and two joys. And hopefully the two joys will, they do outweigh the major concern, which is the concern is that we have entered another war. And I don't know what they call it yet, but I call it the Iranian and American war. And already now on both sides, there have been deaths. So in Iranian and American deaths. So we have to be cognizant of that, what we're going to do moving forward. But the joys are kind of related. You won't think so, but they are, because through darkness, light peers through the darkest night, right? And so when I was coming home, I saw that I have a little rail that protects the mulch from coming onto this walkway into the house, and it was removed a while ago. And I could never figure out how to put it back in. And when I came home one day, I think it was last week, it was put in. And it was even bent. It's so hard to bend it. Somebody bent it and put it, don't know who. It's a gift. It was a gift. And no one, yes. So, and likewise, this week I went to Four Rivers to have lunch. Right behind me in the soda fountain, there was a deputy sheriff, and they were like about a handful of them in the restaurant, decked out in bulletproof vest. When it's outside the uniform, you know it's something going on. It wasn't inside the uniform, but outside. And he was outside. He made a lighthearted joke, which I didn't really hear, but he was like saying, something about the water fountains. And I turned around and he said, "Hi, how are you?" And it was very sincere. It was very kind. And it's those acts of kindness that we need to, keep in mind and move forward. And those acts of kindness where nobody knows that you did them. So pay it forward. Do something nice for somebody this week, next month, next year. Just keep it going forward. Don't let people know what you're doing. And again, it's within these evil times that we are living in, there'll be moments of grace. And that's what I see in this church, and that's what I always try to do with the Social Action Committee, that we try to be a light unto others. So that's what I wanted to say.
Hi, everyone.
My joy is that I did get to finish the bulletin board for RE, but more so, I got to read some of the responses from the bucket filling Time for All Ages, and they were really wonderful. So if you get the chance, go ahead. I have the bucket. It was hanging on the bulletin board. It fell. I'll fix that. But you go ahead and read some of them because they are really wonderful. And there's no reason it only had to be for Time for All Ages. So anytime someone in this community does something that fills your bucket, feel free. I'll leave sticky notes over there, and we can add more to it till we have a full bucket. So thank you.
Good morning, Martha. I don't normally share, but this week I am pleased to announce that I am officially a great aunt. As if there was any doubt, but she was born on Monday, 8 pounds, 11 ounces, so it's the first grandchild for my sister-in-law. And I know if my husband was still here, he'd be so happy. But it was great to go hold her for an hour and a half, and she didn't cry at all.
Let's take a moment of silence for the joys and concerns that were shared as well as those that weren't. Thank you. Now Tay will lead us in Time for All Ages.
Okay, hi everyone. So I need some help. I'm really in a mood for a green apple. But silly me, I peeled both red and green apples, and now I can't tell them apart. There's no skin. I try not to dip them on the floor. There's no skin or anything. Cut roughly in the same size, and if they're not, that's on me. So I need one volunteer who really likes red apples. Margaret. And I also need someone who really prefers green apples. I see Alice's hand, so come on, Alice. You can think those. Okay, so Margaret is saying this group already is red. And Alice is already saying, nope. Well, that's on me as well. So imagine there wasn't any skin left that was green. And can you help me figure out which they are? Do they look any different just looking at them, not super closely examining them?
The shapes are different because you cut them different, but we can examine them by tasting them. Green apples are usually sour, red apples are sweet.
So, like she said, they don't look really different besides the shape that I cut them into, which again, that was totally on me. And then that we can taste them and we probably might be able to tell the difference, which you're getting to where we're going, but we're going to go through some steps first. So smell the apples. Smell both plates. Can you tell me which one's red and which one's green just by the smell? Okay, so we're saying the really choppy ones and kind of skinny ones are red, and the like thicker ones are our green ones, right? Yeah? Okay. Well, what if we picked up one of the slices and tapped it on the plate? Do the apples sound different? It sounds different than that one, but does it sound different from the other plate? So they sound different again because Miss Tay cut them pretty badly. Does the apple on one plate feel any different than the apple on the other? Yes? Is it for the same reason that they're different sizes? Hang on, let's hear, what is it, Margot? Margaret? So the bigger ones feel bumpy, the thinner ones feel smooth. So red apples get kind of brown, yellowish, a little quicker than the green apples. That's the other thing. So Margaret thinks the skinnier, choppier ones look a little yummier too, and Alice feels a bit differently on that. So finally, let's, you don't like the yellow? It's all mushy, yes, fair. Okay, so finally take a bite of one of the apples on each plate, and then let me know which one you think was green, which one you think was red. That tastes amazing. They're yours, you can have those. You're gonna eat the whole apple? We have the other halves in the back. You like the bigger one? Have you tried the smaller one yet? Oh, let's try the smaller one too, love. Okay. The smaller one tastes red. The bigger one tastes green. You guys agreeing on that? Okay. So I'm going to say the smaller, choppier ones were actually the green apples the whole time. And I know because, one, the knife I used was very sharp and cut a plate into the plate, but I also marked it with a little green dash. Yep, and she's right, and that one has a little red dash. So our thicker ones that we said were green were actually our red ones. Thank you, my apple connoisseurs. You guys can go sit. And as much as I also enjoy apples, I have to say, it was never really about the apples. Apples are amazing because they come in a wide variety of colors with different tastes. But as we saw right now, when we removed the factor of the color of the apple skin, it became significantly more difficult to find the differences. What we saw on the plates were healthy snacks that could nourish and fulfill us, our preferences ignored. These apples are a great metaphor for humans. We humans come in a variety of all different colors, with different strengths and skills we can bring to the table. But sometimes the color of our skin can lead to bias towards us. Something so surface level can give some of us kind of preferred treatment, or take opportunities away from us, or worse, put our lives in danger. But when it comes down to it, we are no different than the apples I brought in today. We are all part of one race, the human race, and we should look beyond the differences you can see, and what you'll find is a person who has so much to offer to the world, and who may have been more similar to you than you could ever know. A person with goals and dreams looking for opportunities to pursue them. A person who is just trying to navigate their first time on earth, just like you and I are. You and I am, oh my goodness. A person who is more than just the color of their skin. My hope is that people acknowledges the differences you see, acknowledge how color may impact their lives, but judge people not on the pigmentation of their skin, but rather the values of their heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Tay. Now it's time for our interlude and offering. We rely on your generosity to keep the lights on and to pay our staff, so we appreciate anything you give us. And being a generous congregation, we share 40% of our plate income with a local nonprofit organization, which this quarter is the Center of Orlando. And Janet and Alicia will lead us in our music.
This is going to be 311 in the gray hymnal, and you should see words up there. And there we go. This is something that we used to sing quite a bit about 10 years ago, and we're reintroducing this. So I'm going to ask Alicia to play a little bit so we can hear what it sounds like. The dance we do, may I have this dance with you, through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be our dance, let a dancing song be heard, play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with singing birds. Let it be our dance, let it be our dance, let it be our dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead, feel the rhythm, feel the need, to reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be our dance, let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you, with good times and the bad times too. Let it be our dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing wrong, then nothing's right. Let it be our dance, let it be our dance, let it be our dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Hear the laughter, share the pain. And round we go again. Let it be our dance.
Now our children are welcome to leave for their RE class, so we'll sing their children's recessional. We love you and bless you and send you on your way. We love you and bless you today and every day. It's my honor to welcome our very own Andrew Waibel this morning. He's one of our members here, and he's a husband and father of two. Today, he's going to tell us about happiness and finding joy in the journey. Andrew?
Hey, everybody. All right. There we go. You can enjoy my lovely giraffe. I am not the most creative person, so I just asked AI to find me a slide graphic to go with happiness, and I guess it's keeping your very long head in the clouds. So good morning, everyone. I wanted to talk today about happiness, and I realize that sounds like a very large topic for a Sunday morning, but what I really want to talk about is something much more practical than that. What I want to talk about is how we build a little more joy and resilience into our everyday life. This talk comes from the book The Happiness Advantage by Sean Achor. He is a former Harvard professor who graduated Harvard with a bachelor's in psychology as well as a master's in divinity, focusing specifically in Christian and Buddhist ethics. He's gone on to create a few different think tanks around happiness and positive psychology. What drew me to this book actually is my profession. So I'm a tax accountant, which may seem counterintuitive to happiness, but a little bit about this. When I was in my master's program about 8 or 9 years ago now, my professor, he was a retired partner from one of the big 4 accounting firms. So he's someone who'd reached that pinnacle, right? Reached the top of his career, stepped away, and was now teaching the master's program. And he recommended this book, and I'll get more into the book in a second. But he really talked about how he had reached that pinnacle, and he wasn't necessarily the happiest. Like it felt like he reached this point, and well, this is it. I should be happy. And he said he dove into this book, and he highly recommended all of his classes because in my career it's very upward. It's very just a ladder. It's the next step. It's accounting firms are structured very much like law firms. So if you know much about law firms and accounting firms, it's associate to a senior to a manager to a partner. And you're always like, I need to reach that next step. I need to reach that next level. And like, that's the goal. And that's all you're focusing on. When I get there, the pay raises, the power, you're going to feel happy. And he said that he spent his whole career chasing that. And he got to that point and he just wasn't happy. So he found this book and this discussion around finding happiness and finding joy in the journey. What drew me also about this to this book is that it isn't about pretending life is perfect. It's not about forced positivity or trying to smile through difficult times. It's about small habits that make life feel a bit more manageable and a bit more meaningful. And I like the practical idea like that. One line from the book that really stuck with me is, happiness is not the belief that we don't need to change, it's the realization that we can. Most of us grow up believing happiness comes after things go well, after we accomplish enough, after life settles down, after the problems get solved. We assume happiness is a reward at the end. But Sean Achor suggests something a little bit different. He writes, conventional wisdom holds that if we work hard, we will be successful. And if we are successful, then we'll be happy. The happiness advantage reverses that formula. In other words, happiness isn't just the result of success. Happiness actually helps create success. The idea changed how I think about my daily life. Instead of waiting for happiness someday, we can start building in the small ways now. And that's what today is about. So most of us were taught this broken formula. Right? If I work hard, I'll be successful, and then I'll be happy. But what if that's backwards? It sounds like what adults tell children. It sounds like discipline and maturity. But what actually happens is the goalposts move. Right? You finish one project, and then another appears. You solve one problem, and another takes its place. You reach one milestone, and then the next milestone becomes the focus. Life rarely arrives at a permanent stage where everything is settled. Achor argues that the formula works better in reverse. Happiness first, then better performance, then better outcomes. He writes, positive brains have a biological advantage over brains that are neutral or negative. And he backs it up with research. One study he describes found that doctors who were in a positive emotional state made accurate diagnoses 19% faster. Students placed in a positive emotional state performed significantly better on tests of creativity and problem solving. Salespeople who were more optimistic sold at 37% higher rates. The important thing is that happiness isn't magic. It doesn't eliminate problems, but it improves how we respond to them, and that's a powerful idea. Before I go any further here on these slides, I wanted to give a clarifying statement, something important that I wanted to address. Whenever people talk about happiness, there's always a risk it sounds like we're saying people should just decide to be happy. And if they're not, then they're doing something wrong. That's not what this is about. Depression is real, anxiety is real, stress is real, and trauma is very real. And therapy and medication help many people live healthier and more stable lives. Sometimes they save their lives. Nothing in this talk replaces those things. These ideas are not a cure for mental health struggles. I think of them more like supporting habits. Sleep doesn't replace medical care. Exercise doesn't replace medical care, but they help. In the same way these habits support emotional well-being, some of us are doing well. Some of us are struggling. Most of us are somewhere in between. These ideas can help wherever we fall on that spectrum. Achor puts it this way: happiness is not about pretending everything is perfect. It is about seeing the good even while dealing with the bad. This talk is about resilience, not denial. And I think that idea fits really well with our UU values. We believe in supporting people where they are. We believe in growth. We believe in compassion. And these habits are small ways of supporting that growth. Okay. So here, one of the most interesting ideas in this book is that our brains respond differently to stress and positivity. When we are stressed, our thinking narrows. We focus on threats, we become more reactive, more rigid, less patient. Right? The response evolved to help humans survive danger. But in everyday life, it works against us. Positive emotions do the opposite. They expand our thinking. Aker writes, positive emotions literally open up the possibility of seeing more in our environment. We see more options, more solutions, more possibilities. Psychologist Barbara Friedrichsen calls this the broaden and build effect. Positive emotions broaden our thinking and help build long-term resilience. This isn't just philosophy, this is brain science. And that means happiness isn't just a nice idea, it's a useful state of mind. There you go. No, you're good. I'll wait for this pop up. I have everything in front of me as well, so Let's think positively about this. There we go. Perfect. This is a bit what I just talked on. But I wanted to go back. So joy isn't something we earn, it's something we cultivate. I think that was something that really stuck out to me. There is a trap, though, because psychologists call this the hedonic adaptation, where you continue to move your goalposts to chase happiness. So right here, okay, one thing I really wanted to focus on is this this fluffy, approach that people may say it doesn't replace. I mean, it doesn't mean ignoring injustice, grief, or hardship. We can talk about that, right? In our modern world, there are things happening all the time, and this positivity approach doesn't mean that we ignore those things or we pretend that they're not happening. It means we find ways to build resilience so that we can engage with these problems and these solutions more efficiently. So before I jump into these, the science behind this, dopamine improves memory, learning, attention, and motivation. It helps the brain function better. And again, this doesn't mean ignoring reality. Life includes grief. It includes loss, stress, uncertainty. The goal isn't denial. Again, it's resilience. So there are 5 daily practices that can help rewire your brain to a more positive. I'm not saying these daily practices are going to all of a sudden make you the happiest person in the world, but what they're going to do is they're going to help shift your brain into thinking in a more positive mindset. So the first one is a gratitude practice. Write down 3 new things you're grateful for each day. Not big things, again, specific things. Like the taste of a coffee or the text you got from a friend. This trains your brain to start looking at your day and scan for the positives you found in your day rather than the negatives you found. My family, we do a lovely thing with our daughter and soon when he can talk, Tristan, at the end of the day, when we're around the dinner table at night, we do something called a cherry in a pit about our day. We talk about something that maybe was tough for us and then something that was positive. And I really like the idea that we are looking back on our day and while we're addressing the downsides or a negative thing that happened, we're also, it could be a really hard day, we're going to look for that joy, we're going to look for that small positivity, even the smallest of things. And that helps, again, train your brain to scan for the positivity. One big thing that Sean Aker mentions is try not to have repeats, right? Because you get into this mindset of every day it's like, oh, well, playing with my daughter is one of my 3 gratitudes every single day. Well, then you're starting to blank out searching for the positivity and you're more just building in repeats. So you're not really working on that. So it's trying to find new things each day. And again, they can be the smallest things. I like the way the breeze felt when I got out of my car, right? Little things just forces you to look at your day differently. One of the hopeful messages in this book, Aker writes, small incremental changes in mental habits can produce dramatic improvements in our overall happiness and success. He also writes about gratitude. When our brains constantly scan for positives, we become more skilled at seeing possibilities. One of the most interesting findings he reports is that people who practiced daily gratitude for 21 days showed measurable improvements in optimism. And even months later, many of those improvements were still there. What I like about gratitude is that it doesn't require big life changes. It requires noticing something. Sometimes it's something big, sometimes it's something small, right? A good conversation, a quiet moment, a nice morning. The doubler. Okay, so the second practice is something Aker calls the doubler. The idea is simple. You take a few minutes to relive a positive experience. Maybe something meaningful, maybe something joyful, and then if possible, you share it with the person involved. Send a message, make a quick call, say thank you. Aker writes, sharing positive experiences strengthens them and strengthens connections and communities. So saying something like, I was thinking about that dinner last week, it meant a lot, right? Little things like that. One, you're thinking about something positive and you're putting positivity into someone else's life as well. And that could end up being one of their three things. I received a nice text from a friend. Right? That could end up being one of their positive things that they're writing down, one of their gratitudes. And you experience it again once it happens. So you're doubling that effect. You had that nice moment, and now you're reliving it and you're experiencing it again. So you're getting that hit of dopamine, that positivity again. And when you remember it, sometimes again, when you share it, and at the same time, it strengthens those relationships, right? The relationships are one of the strongest predictors of well-being that researchers have found. So something as simple as a quick message can have a real impact. The next one, we've all heard this a million times, but it's movement, right? A 15-minute joy habit, something as simple as walking for 15 minutes, dancing in your kitchen to some of your favorite songs, stretching. It's one of the fastest ways to produce dopamine in our brains. It's, again, one of the least surprising things. It doesn't require becoming an athlete. It doesn't require long workouts. Just moving regularly helps. Aker cites research showing that as little as 15 minutes of movement can significantly improve mood up to 21% in someone's brain. Exercise is one of the most reliable ways to improve mood and reduce stress. Walking counts, stretching counts. Consistency matters more than intensity. And that makes this one much more realistic, right? You're not saying go out and run a 5K. You go out and walk around your block. The next one, I should have brought the expert up here for this one, but meditation. So something as simple as 2 to 5 minutes of breathing every day, just focused breathing and being at peace with yourself for a moment, has shown significant improvement. And meditation doesn't have to be complicated. Just sitting quietly. Meditation helps train attention. Instead of reacting automatically, we learn to respond more intentionally. And that small shift can make a big difference. Aker describes meditation as a way to quiet mental noise so we can focus more effectively. Even short pauses during the day can change how the rest of the day feels. In UU language, I mentioned it's presence, it's grounding, it's a sacred pause, but it's also just being here and being aware and just taking a moment to be at peace. Small moments of stillness can make a surprising difference. Number 5 is random acts of kindness. And this kind of can also tie into number 2, the doubler, right? Sending that nice text to somebody. The final practice is finding one act of kindness per day. Nothing dramatic, just intentional. A kind message, a compliment, helping someone with something small. Aker describes research where people who performed 5 acts of kindness in a single day experienced measurable increased happiness. He writes, acts of kindness create a ripple effect of positivity and community building. The idea really resonates with me because kindness doesn't just affect the person receiving it, it affects the person giving it. And sometimes the people watching it as well. Kindness builds connection, and connection is one of the strongest predictors of well-being. So this is how, application to our daily lives. How does this apply to parenting, work, community, activism? These are all practical across the board. They aren't big, dramatic life changes, right? Positivity, finding happiness can help affect the way we approach activism, right? It can give us a second to pause and think about our approaches to these problems that are persistent in our world, right? That deep breath, I'm sure all parents can relate, taking those 2 to 5 minutes of pause and peace can impact the way you approach parenting. And work, right? Work can be stressful all the time, but if you take a second to think about a positive in that work day, right? That the water cooler conversation or the joke you shared in a team chat or something, right? That can impact the way you view your work day and each day as you're approaching it. Aker writes that positive habits compound over time. These little things may not change everything in that first day, but you're going to notice slowly over time the way your mindset shifts. Tiny changes shape days. Days shape lives, and that makes happiness feel more reachable. Not someday, but gradually. Okay. So here's the key shift. Instead of asking, how do I survive the day? Ask, how do I see the day with the small positive inputs? Before a stressful meeting, send a message, right? Before checking the news, think about the positives in your day, right? Because you know the second you open up that news app, your brain's shot. So go into it with a more positive mindset if you can. Before bed, recall one moment that made you smile. We don't control the world, but we do influence our internal climate. And when enough individuals raise their internal climate, communities change. So again, it's simple things like kindness, movement, a quiet pause, and the tone of a day matters because days add up. I think that was my last one. Could I do? Yeah, okay. So before I get to that, kind of went through this faster than I expected. That's fine. I want to end by stepping back and looking at the bigger picture. We live in a complicated world. There's always more news than we want, more problems than we can solve, more uncertainty than we would choose. And sometimes it can feel like happiness is fragile, like something that disappears as soon as life gets difficult. But what I appreciate about the Happiness Advantage is that it suggests something more hopeful. Happiness isn't something reserved for easy lives. It's something that helps us live better in imperfect ones. Aker writes, the greatest competitive advantage in the modern economy is a positive and engaged mind. I think we might say that a little differently in a UU community. We might say a hopeful mind strengthens community. A grounded spirit supports others. A joyful person brings warmth into shared spaces. And that's one of the reasons happiness isn't selfish. When we're calmer, we listen better. When we're hopeful, we support people better. When we're grounded, we respond instead of react. So happiness isn't just personal, it's relational. It's part of how we take care of each other. And what I like most about these ideas is how small they are. The gratitude, the kindness, the movement. None of these things are dramatic. They're small things that shape days. So maybe the question isn't, how do I become happier someday? It's again the question of, what's one small thing I can do today? Because happiness doesn't arrive all at once. It grows gradually, and that means it's within reach. Thanks.
That was fantastic. Thank you, Andrew. Let's extinguish our chalice. Extinguish the flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. All right. And Gary and Alicia will lead us in our closing music.
So you can stand if you're willing and able. We'll have a short introduction. 3 verses. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain, I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean I've got like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul.
Thank you. My closing words this morning are also from Irvin Yalom, this time from a different book, a novel of his called The Schopenhauer Cure. Julius understood Nietzsche's words to mean that he had to choose his life. He had to live it rather than be lived by it. In other words, he should love his destiny. And above all, there was the oft-repeated question, whether we would be willing to repeat the precise same life we have lived again and again throughout eternity. A curious thought experiment, yet the more he thought about it, the more guidance it provided. Nietzsche's message to us was to live life in such a way that we would be willing to repeat the same life eternally. Now for our postlude. Let us go in peace.